Hello, and welcome to Bunny89 randomly reviews Squishy Monsters. One of my friends plays this game called Lisa the Painful or something. I've been told it's a game I probably shouldn't try playing myself because it has a lot of sexual violence in it, which is something that absolutely squicks me out, utterly. Absolutely no. I could watch horror stuff if it's just, scary monsters, but as soon as there shows up a titty, I'm out. But yeah, basically that's what this video is about. As my friend said, there's a lot of, cool monster designs in this game, so even though I'm not going to play the game, I'm going to try and react to give my uninformed reactions to them and tell you what I like about them and stuff. So, yeah, warning up front that these are horror monsters from a horror game, so, they might be scary to other people, but I'm a weirdo who tends to find horror monsters adorable, so that's why we're here. That's also why I'm hugging one plush of Dr. Snap from Dragon Quest Monsters Joker, and in the back we have another plush of the same character, which I ordered online from a really cool person on Twitter called Charlo Art, and I'll put their link down in the description if you also want to commission a gigantic super awesome plushie of any character you want in the world, or if you also want a Dr. Snap, because Dr. Snap is awesome and more people should appreciate him. Anyway, we're going to be reviewing these monsters from a game I have not played and I know nothing about except that there are apparently a lot of dads in it. And yeah, and I'll be giving my opinions on how friend they are. Let's go. Oof, okay. Wow, you are a design and a half, aren't you? I think that's actually probably one of the only horror monsters I can think of where the design itself actually managed to spook me slightly. I think it's just the eyes. I feel really, really, really sorry for this poor thing. It looks like its eyes are in pain. But in a cute way, I think. This is a very lumpy palette. I like the design, how it's 100% super scary monster all over the top, and then it's got little tiny human legs on the bottom. That is endearing and cute. This one is a friend. This is a friend. This is a big friend. It's a very large friend. It's a lumpy friend. I like all the texture given to how lumpy it is. It's like a beanbag made of friend. But definitely the eyes, the big red under the eye. What's it called? This part of the eye thing being all painful like that. It makes me feel so sorry for this poor friend. Especially also because it doesn't seem to have a mouth. So does it eat with its eyeball thingies now? That would be extra painful. You've got sore red eyes from crying so much, then you've got to shove a whole sandwich into them. That would be sad. I want to give this guy a big hug. I want to put a little hat on his head actually. His or her or their head, because because my friend was giving some info on them, but apparently this one doesn't have any info known on who they were when they were human. I love them. Oh, he's relaxing in the bathhouse. Oh, is this a peaceful one then? That's good, because I don't know if these monsters are enemies or not. I was just assuming they were probably enemies because that's how most games tend to handle monsters. But I think it's much better and it's more sad and more horrific actually. If you just see all these horror monsters that were just were normal people and now are continuing to be normal people, but they're very scary looking. I just want to I want to help this poor little monster continue living their normal life. Where is the NHS of this world? Post-apocalypse NHS, please. Give us medical assistance to help monsters live their fullest lives. So yeah, my verdict on Beady. Oh, Beady, because there's little beady eyes. That's so sweet. What a cute name. Do they all have cute nicknames based on their appearance? That's adorable. I'm assuming this one cannot talk because it doesn't seem to have a mouth. That must be very tough. But maybe it can write down with its one hand. Anyway, I like this friend. This is a good friend. My verdict on Beady is 10 out of 10 friend, which I'm probably going to give to literally everyone on this list. I will give this, well, what were my categories I was going to judge the monsters on? Oh, I prepared so much. I prepared so much, and it's been so long since I did this, I have forgotten the categories I was going to judge them on. I think it was lumptitude and frienditude. Well, this one is definitely maximum lumptitude. Absolute lumptitude. And the appeal, okay, I think it's going to be a rating them on visual design, huggability, and huggability, actual scariness, and overall friend rating. No. Visual design, huggability, friendability, scareability, and overall rating. Okay, I'll give this one a very high rating for its overall scareability. This so far is it actually surprised me because again, I have a huge tolerance. I'm rarely ever scared by horror monsters unless they happen to have a really well detailed face for some reason. For some reason that scares me. The uncanny valley The Uncanny Valley factor of like having a simplified cartoony design but a really detailed face, that's the only real thing that scares me on monsters. Either that or if the monster looks like it's in pain, which is what freaked me out on this. On this poor little thing, like it's got both of those. It's got a cartoony design of an over-realistic face, and it looks like it's crying in pain, and it looks like it's been crying so much in pain its eyes have been like burned out of their sockets, which is terrifying. That's the word, sockets! You have very, very pretty sockets, Mr. Beady. Mrs. Beady. I don't know. Beady pal, I want to hug you. I've heard apparently in this game everyone's men, because one of those all the women died out stories, which I tend to dislike, to be honest, because like it's rarely ever used for anything except loads of random sexism or sex violence or both. But yeah. So that's another reason I probably won't play this game, but this monster design is very good. I'll give this one, I wouldn't go for a 10 out of 10 because I don't think it's the scariest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I would give this somewhere in the range of a 9.5 because it's like, it takes an exceptionally good scary design in order to make Bunny be scared of a monster. So yeah, good scareability rating. Huggability rating I also have to give you a very high on this because seriously, it looks like a beanbag made of human. And that's like the best thing to be. That's like the height of like all the cutest monsters, like the scariest, the monsters that are supposed to be scary but end up finding them cute, are ones that are very blobbly and round. It just makes me think that they would be incredibly huggable. I mean, if you hug a fat person, that's nice. Like, I mean, I am a fat person. I give good hugs because I'm extra soft. So I don't see why a monster having like lots of lumps on it is supposed to be scary, honestly. Doesn't that just make him like more huggable? Speaking of which, lumps. That's actually the only thing I managed to find scary about Dr. Snap's design when I first saw it. I went, oh my god, no, Grandpa is in pain because it had these tumor lumps on the side of his face, which I've obviously in this plushie is like chibified. I've stylized them into just like little earsies. But yeah, in his design he's got these big tumors on his shells. I went, oh no, it looks like his face has been cut open. I went, oh no, it's just tumors. Okay. That showed how my priorities are with how I tend to find scary monsters cute. But I just like I got like a jolt of fear from I go, oh no, the monster is in pain, no. Then the fellow, oh, it's okay, it's just a scary monster, and he's actually very happy this way, apparently. Honestly, that's why I like Dr. Snap a lot in his story, is because he's just like, I want to be a monster, I love monsters so much, monsters are so cute. And then when he turns into the scariest monster in the world, he's like, yay, this is exactly what I wanted. I have no complaints whatsoever. That's a man whose opinions I can respect. That is very similar to my opinions about how I find scary monsters cute. It's just nice to find a character which agrees with you, even if the character's supposed to be wrong and the villain. Anyway, BD, good points for scareability, good points for huggability. Friend value, that's got to be, I'm not sure, like, it's hard to judge friend value because I don't know the personality or the context of the plot or anything of these characters. I can't say, like, how they act or whether be particularly huggable and all that, but from the design and saying about how it's a peaceful one who just hangs out in a bathhouse and tries to live a normal life, I would say that's a high rating of friendability. I would give you a preliminary rating of 7 out of 10, because I can't go into the really high ratings not knowing specifics of exactly how friend or not friend you are. But yeah, what was the other one? Overall design, yeah, that's a big height. Maybe I should just fold that into scareability, because like these designs are supposed to be scary, so overall design would kind of be part of that. But yeah, this is a very good design. Like, I love like the sense of movement in the sprite. Like, it's all like twisted up and it's got all good, like, it's a very chibified art style, but they managed to show like a lot of all the detail on the scary parts and like the less detail on the not scary parts, which gives it a very cute atmosphere. Like, seriously, the little beady eyes next to the horrifying eye sockets, it's a good appeal. This does very good for being scary, it does very good for being huggable, it has a good dynamic action pose in general. The tiny little feet are the cutest thing in the world, honestly. It makes me wonder why on earth this is like, apparently this is caused by some sort of virus from overusing a magical drug or some sort. So I wonder why on earth that would happen to mutate only half a person and leave only their legs fine. But it looks aesthetically pleasing, so yeah. I will give you an overall rating of... Actually, I don't know how to do math to even up the rating, so I'll just say overall you are a good. You are a very good, you're an excellent start to this. I've spent way too long blabbering on about you, I'll move on to the next friend. How do I do to, like... Sorry, I'm trying to view this on Google, because I don't know if there's an option to, like, view it all one page afterwards and be able to skip through. Okay, we'll just scroll down. Oh, Charmy! Oh, that's a sweet name. Do they all have sweet and adorable adorable names? Is this supposed to be like a contrast of them having adorable names but being terrifying, or is the game actually agreeing that they're adorable because I agree much? Look, this one has like a little tiny smile. I love that. What a cutie. Like, I don't think this one's design is as, like, this design is not scary at all. This design is, like, I think even a person who wasn't like me and didn't find monsters adorable wouldn't be able to find this one scary. This is just a cute friend. This is 100% a friend. This is just a adorable, like, it's got a little tiny smiley face, and it's got a little tiny hand, and it's just a crunchy friend. And like, I'm not sure if that's a beard or if that's just like a marking of some sort, but that looks really cute and aesthetically pleasing. It reminds me of those fancy ruffs that jesters wear in old-timey stuff. This is just a friend. This is just a friend and a pal. This is adorable. This looks looks less like a monster and looks more like a tent that fell down. I love them. Charmy, good friend. Good friend, Charmy. That's a charming face. I especially love the nice little eyebrows. That looks so cute. Oh, being cared for by a kind old man in the children's playground. Oh. So are these monsters all sympathetic then? Yes! Oh, damn, I'm really tempted to want to play this game, even though I've been told it does have, like, rude titties and stuff in it that I wouldn't like. But, like, oh, I just want to play this game to see all the sympathetic monsters. Seriously. So is this monster, did they used to be a human when they were alive? No, did they used to be a kid when they were a human? Because that would be incredibly sad. Like, what situation could have possibly happened to cause a kid to be taking drugs and then turn into a monster? Like, oh. Well, like, do they have bad parents and this kind old man rescued them, but they were too late and like, they were already a monster? That's really sad. Oh. But I would have assumed that this was an older character because, like I said, that rough thing around the neck looks like a beard. But the little face is adorable, so I could believe that this was actually a child. I'm not sure. Like, from these designs, they're so twisted up, you can't really tell very much about who they used to be as a human before they got monstered. But yeah, this design, I wouldn't say it's, like, particularly appealing to me in any way. Like, no, I wouldn't say it's, like, not appealing. I wouldn't say there's anything that jumps out to me as, like, a favourite, like with Beedie, with the whole scarifying, cutifying face was really good. But this one is just like, a good, solid design for... This is a blob monster that is a nice friend. And I love the little tiny face. I would say, little tiny face catapults us up in the height of cuddliness. I can't remember what rating I gave for huggability. I was saying this probably wouldn't be a very good huggable one because the way they draw its twisted body seem to make it look like they're like a big flap of skin with like a lot of bones inside and not too much squishy fat. Which is, I suppose that's scary in its own way to think about. But like, they don't seem to be in pain, they're having a lovely little smile, so that's all good. I'm gonna drink some Fanta. So yeah, I would say for huggability, I would give you, about a 6. I'm sorry, like, slightly more than average huggability. Like, you don't physically look like you'd be very good to hug, because, like I said, you look like a pointy bag of skin. But that kind and adorable face makes you, like, huggable in spirit. And then for friend factor, I'd catapult you up to a 10 for that. Like, you are the most friend factor. Just that description of you being a peaceful monster that has a human friend and is being taken care of in a playground and may possibly have been a child. And like, even that, or are you a parent of a child who keeps coming back to the playground to like try and find your child or something? That would be incredibly sad in a different way. Both possibilities are incredibly sad, and it gives you maximum friend value. You have the highest friend value of all. Also, your little tiny adorable face, seriously. Like, that's so sweet. Seriously, just look at that. They're just like, with so many minimum pixels, you've managed to create the cutest face in all of existence. And what's the other rating? Scareability, I'd give you literally a 0. Like, okay, I'll give you a 1 because, like, the abstract concept in general of it being a monster is scary, but, like, nothing about the design is scary at all. This looks like 100% a friend. Like, it even looks like it's giving you a little friendly wave. I want to hug Charmy. I want to hug all of these monsters, goddammit. I want to hug Charmy even if Charmy is full of Pokebones. Pet. Let's see our next friend. Let's see our next... I love you! Oh my gosh, what a squishy! Oh! Oh! Sorry, I'm a little bit overwhelmed by cuteness, actually. Oh my gosh. Like, I literally can't imagine what it's like to have a brain that's able to see that as scary. So, like, I'm assuming it's probably supposed to be scary because it's like... For some reason, people tend to make blobs scary, but blobs are cute. I just don't get it. Like, You have a blob with a little smiley face. How is that supposed to be scary? Like, especially it looks like it's having a nice little sleep. It looks like a very lazy little pal who's very tired. Like, look at its little face. It's just like, 5 more minutes, please. I like the colour of it too. For some reason, I tend to like when it reminds me of what's it called from Final Fantasy VIII, Gero Gero, which is my first favourite horror monster I liked as a kid, and probably the reason I theorise that the whole reason I've ended up finding horror monsters cute instead of terrifying is because I played that game way too young as a kid, and I was like, oh, this adorable melted zombie man with horrifying chalk skin and like oozing organs coming out of his torso is actually very cute and a friend, and I never turned back from there. I mean, that could have ended up being a lot worse than it was. Like, can you imagine what if I was actually a kid who actually could have got traumatized by that? I probably shouldn't have been playing that game that early, but oh well. At least it turned out well. Anyway, oh my god, this one's named Doctor! Oh! Was this the Doctor who created all the monster stuff or something? Because, I'm interested to hear more about the story about this. So, like, the Doctor ended up falling victim to their own experiment or something? Does that mean that this character is evil then if they created the monster drug? Oh, but they look so sweet and precious, seriously. The little face is just so sleepy, and a little floof of hair, and then a blobbleness, and there's nothing of this character except just a blob with a head on it, and it's just so sweet, and it just looks like a sleepy pal, and I wonder if when it gets up from its sleep, it'll go bouncing around like that, like what little baby Digimon with just a head. That's so sweet. Oh. Like, this is literally, like I was saying before, like, blob monsters look like beanbags. This is literally a beanbag monster. How could anyone possibly find this scary? This is a friendest of friend. Found in the basement of a secret research facility alongside notes journaling a transformation. Oh, that's a trope I like, is where you find like a journal going, I am science man, I'm totally not going to turn into a monster. And the last entry is like, I'm turning into a monster. And then you find the monster. And it's supposed to be scary, but I'm just like, I always end up feeling super sympathetic and sad for those characters. And by the time I see the monster, I'm like, oh, you're the one I wanted to hug. And then they attack you and you have to like fight them. And I'm like, no, let me hug you. I've seen your sympathetic backstory. I want to help you. No. That is a true horror of Resident Evil, honestly. But yeah, so we don't know about what his human form looked like, but we do have a real name for him, which is interesting for the others. So Dr. Lement. That is a really cute name. It reminds me of Clement from Pokemon. Was this actually Clement from Pokemon? Is this his secret fate? Okay, Clement from Pokemon is really adorable, so, like, I could see it. I could imagine it, except that the hair is black instead of blonde. But yeah. Pet. Okay, 100% huggability. Was I rating it out of 10? Whatever the maximum is of huggability, I am giving... I this is like so many leagues ahead of even Beady. Like, I'm sorry, Beady, but this is even cuter than you. So I would say this is an 11 out of 10 because I think I was a bit reckless in preliminarily giving Beady such a high rating when all of these are so cute. Like, I didn't even realise there'd be ones even cuter than Beady coming up here, but oh my gosh. I'll give you an 11 out of 10 for huggability. You look like you are literally a plush toy. You look like a beanbag come to life with a small little cutie face on it. You look like a sleepy pal too because it makes me feel like you want a lot of hugs because you are a very sleepy pal and you want a blanket and you want a pillow and I will look after you and to keep you safe. I love this character so much. Like, oh my god. Friend value also 11 out of 10. Okay, maybe I'll put the friend value down to 10 out of 10 because there's a slight bit of ambiguity where I don't know if this doctor was the one who created the monster drug and is therefore evil, or if like they were a doctor who was like just unrelated, or if they were a doctor who created the monster drug and they weren't evil somehow. Like, was the monster drug originally intended to be like something or other that would help people heal wounds or something? Because I suppose that would make sense. Like, because like the way the monster design seemed to be is like it seems to be like based on cancer or something. It feels like they've overgrown their own body or something. So it makes sense if it's like was like invented as a way to heal wounds that like went crazy and gave you new limbs you never knew you needed. You can put that on the advert. But yeah, so yeah, I'll give you like I'll restrain myself and drag this down to a 10 out of 10 for friend ability because we do not know if you're an evil or not. And then overall design scariness, I will have to give you, I think, you're not quite as low as Charmix. I can tell that you were intended to be scary, but you were very much not. I think the face was probably intended to be scary at least. It's hard to be, I can't really tell when something is intended to be scary. I just see framed. Just fremd value is here. Absolute fremd. So, yeah, I'll give you a 3 out of 10 for scary. A 3 out of 10 for scary, because I'm sure you're supposed to be scary, but you just look friend to me. Especially, like, if I gave them overall ratings, I would be giving everyone I liked the best low ratings because they had low scariness. So let's just carry on. Let's just carry on for a second and say that, like, low scariness is good for me because I want these monsters to be friend. So yeah, this is the closest to a perfect rating we've got so far, and like, this is 1 over a perfect rating. Even like, it's like, I don't even just. Imagine like 10 out of 10, but then it's like 1,000 out of 10, and like it keeps gaining zeros the more I look at it. Yeah, I would buy a plush toy of this Doctor so much. I would make a plush toy. That could be my next plush toy project. Actually, it probably wouldn't be good to make a plush toy of a character when I don't know if they're evil or not yet. I'll ask my friend Will about whether this character is evil or not before I start making beanbag plushies to like cover my entire house with. But oh, Doctor. No. Pat. Pat. Georgie! Oh, you're a blob. Everyone is blobs. Everyone has little precious faces. Oh. I like you, George. Every time I say, oh, this is probably the cutest one, something new and cute comes along. I think I will rate you a little bit lower because you're not quite as monstrous as the others. You're just a guy with a really big head. But that's a really endearing way to draw a guy with a really big head. His face looks so crumpled. Oh, I want to give him a hug. He looks like so sad. But can we fund the NHS for helping monsters? Seriously. Can this guy like have some help with like little wheels to help him lift his head and move around or something? Or I guess like a what's it called, a Zimmer frame? Like, there are so many ways that doctors could help this monster live a full and happy life. And make him less sad, seriously, poor guy. So, his name is Georgie, that's such a cute name. Found a place he calls his home, Garbage Island. No, Georgie, you deserve better than Garbage Island. I'm sure your island is very pleasant and pretty, even if it is full of garbage. Just knowing that you are there makes it the happiest place on Earth. Oh, he's actually playable in the prequel. Oh, that makes it extra tragic and sad that his situation, like, as he ends up becoming a monster. Does he end up becoming a boss monster? I hope he doesn't become a boss monster. I hope he just remains a pleasant, like, friend and stuff. And and it's extra feels that there's a. Well, one of his relatives is a playable character. Oh, so you get to learn a lot about the story of Georgie then. Oh, poor Georgie. I'll give you a very high rating on friendability because you've got a very developed story here, and the tragedy value of knowing this character as a human and then seeing them become a monster is definitely like ramping up a sympatheticness factor a lot. I'll give you a 10 out of 10 of friendability. That's a good. Huggability, I think, yeah, naturally you'd also be in a similar category to characters like BD and Doctor, but your design isn't quite as appealing as him, so I'm sorry about that. I'll have to put you on a 8 huggability. And then overall design, I think it's a funny idea to have a guy with a gigantic head, and like they added a good aspect of tragedy to him by making him look so sad about it. So like this is an inherently comedic like monster design, but they made it non-comedic and actually really sympathetic and huggable instead. But when you get down to it, it is just a very mostly humanoid design, and only the head is mutated. So take it down a notch a little on the rateability stage, because like he's less monster than all the other monsters at least, which is not good. Like, more monster is my definition of good. So I'll give you an overall design rating of 7. I'll go with 7. Overall design rating of 7. Scareability, again, you're going to go down the 1 scale because there is nothing scary about you. You're just a very sympathetic friend. So, high rating on friendability, medium rating on huggability, not so good rating on designability. But overall, a friend. Everyone so far has been a friend. I would probably, if they were selling Beanie Bag plushies of all of these, I would probably buy the other ones before this guy, but I would still buy this guy. And I would hug him a lot. Georgie. Pat. I hope Georgie gets help, and I hope he gets to reunite with his relative, whoever they may be. Oh, here's his human form. Oh, okay. His human form Is a bit of a sleazy grifter who would fight to protect you but also steal your watch the moment your guard is down. Oh, friendability rating dropping down a bit then. I know apparently in this game, like, it's all very cynical, and it's literally why it's called Lisa the Painful, is because, like, tragic, sad stuff happens all the time, and it's all like, we're gonna prove to you your quest is pointless, blah blah blah, like, you try going for a big quest and you get no reward in the end, like, it takes all your party members or whatever. That's what I've heard about it, is, like, it's a very sad game with lots of cynical stuff in it, so everyone in it is a bit of a jerk, even the ones who are adorable. But, like, his design is adorable, but him having big red nipples is not adorable. Like, seriously, like, again, this game apparently has a lot of sexual violence in it. As far as I know, my friend Will has not given me any pictures of any characters which are, like, full dongers out or whatever. But yeah, apparently a trait of that design is, like, even the men have, like, really fat nipples drawn on them, which is a thing, I guess. But yeah, that's a bit no. If I could just, like, put my hand over that part of the screen, the rest of his design is adorable. The rest of his design looks like a pleasant uncle. It looks like a pleasant uncle who would, like, run a candy shop and give you candy, and I don't know, maybe he would have a nice Italian accent. Italian accents are the cutest and most like, lyrical accents in the universe. I don't get why people make fun of people who have accents. Like, accents sound awesome. Like, English is not a very pleasing language to the ear. Like, Italian is a very pleasing language to the ear. Why would you be mad at a person for having a better accent than you? Seriously. But yeah, it's saying that apparently he is, like, a thief guy who will betray you. That's a bit sad. It's a shame that such a cute design was given to a character who's apparently a bit of a jerk. But it does say he would fight to protect you. He's just, like, maybe he's like a person who suffers from kleptomania, so, like, he has good intentions but he still can't stop himself. That would be incredibly sad, because seriously, this world needs, like, a mental and physical health disability system to, like, give these people the help they need, seriously. That's like the first thing people should establish in an apocalypse, is literally just therapists. Like, please? Like, no apocalypse stories I've ever seen have ever had a therapist character in them, but in reality, if an apocalypse happened, we would be fucking fighting over who gets the therapist. Like, they would be, they'd be worth their weight in gold. But yeah. So I'm gonna drop the friendability rating down to an 8? Friendability, what would I give him friendability? 1 point less than whatever it was before on the friendability scale. Will I drink a glass of orange and passion fruit water? Okay, I don't even know what this was. I do feel also his design is kind of weird in retrospect. It doesn't have much in common with his human form. Like, aside from the adorable face, but, like, you would expect that, like, I don't know, a fat guy would become one of the adorable blob monsters rather than having only his head get big. I don't know, maybe it's a sign that people's monster forms have literally nothing in common with their human form, so it's not smart to start trying to theorize what they look like based on what they are as a monster. I don't know. I would have expected he would end up looking like how Doctor looks, honestly. But with, like, a bigger nose and a cuter face. Okay, that design would be the 12 out of 10 friendability. Oh my gosh. Anyway. I'm gonna give you a pat anyway, because you're still very friend-looking, but you're the kind of person who looks incredibly trustable and actually isn't. So, oh, darn my huggability ratings in my brain. Oh my gosh. What the actual hell? Oh my god. There is no rhyme or reason to this monster virus, apparently. Like, why only the neck? Why literally nothing else? This is like a 99% human man, but that 1%, oh my gosh, it is strikingly strange. I gotta say, I like his hair. I like his hair a lot. That's a lovely face. He looks like an American superhero, I guess, with that little cape thing. Well, I'm assuming that's probably like his shirt got ripped off and his head went boing. But it looks like a cape from how it's drawn in this angle. I like how he's smiling and he's making a nice pose and he just looks like, oh, I'm perfectly fine, nothing has happened. It makes me laugh, the comedic ability of it. It's very friendable. So yeah, I'll actually give you a high design rating despite being mostly human. You are a very good design for a mostly human monster. Like, playing the mostly humanness for comedic value, that's good, I like that. I'll give you an 8 out of 10, I think. bordering on a 9 out of 10. Like, this is the highest rating I can possibly give a humanoid monster. Like, oh my gosh. I also like the appealing colours of his green hair, like, contrasted with, like, the colours of the American flag cape shirt thingamajiggy. It's good. I also like the ambiguity of his face, where, like, you could, like, either that could be, like, his eye, he's like got like a very defined brow so you can't see his eyes, or it could be like his eyes don't exist anymore, he's a monster, so there's like 2% of him has become monster. Like, who knows, maybe 3% of him became monster, he didn't have green hair before, because like, hair dye must be very hard to come by in the apocalypse, so maybe the only thing that happened to this guy is that he got really tall and his hair changed colour, which is comedically funny. I wonder if there's like a reason why some monsters become more monstrous than others. Is it like, if the more of a drug you use or something, or is it just like a genetic lottery run on whatever you turn into when you go monster? I don't know. Yeah. Found the end of his own little village, was home to all his men. He has many giant billboards of his face. Oh, that actually makes his whole comedic thing even more funny in retrospect. It's like if you spent like an hour only seeing the face and expecting a normal human man, and then seeing that like everything except his face is monstered, that would be like even more like comedic timing. So I love it. Also, I love that this monster guy still has a bunch of friends and he has like a full and happy life. I like that. I'm glad, because I don't know how if it's one of those situations where like the monsters aren't sentient or able to talk anymore or anything, but it seems this guy has got his life all together, so I'm glad. But maybe that's because he still has his whole like human face on. Does that mean he can talk? I don't know. I don't know the rules of how this monster stuff works. I just know it's a very appealing and cute design. I'm saying I don't know if he's necessarily huggable, because like he's just a human man. Like he's just as huggable as whoever he was when he was a human man. But I should add an extra category for like funny monsters. Like this guy, he sort of like defies all categorization. He makes up his own category of funny monsters, and in that he is 1,000 out of 10. Good job. I rate you highly, Hawk. Oh, there he is. And okay, so he did literally look exactly the same as a human, except his head was not long. So confirmed, this is the most 1% monster man in the entire universe. Oh, apparently he's a bit of an arsehole. But he's flamboyant and funny, so one of those cases where like you're like, oh, do I forgive him for it, because he's actually very adorable at heart. You get the villains like that. You get the villains which are sympathetic on the one hand. On the other hand, you have the villains which are completely unsympathetic, but they're just really entertaining, so they end up being kind of sympathetic anyway somehow. But yeah. Again, I'll rank him down a few points on the funny. No, he's still just as funny if he's an arsehole. So yeah, I think he continues to keep his 100% rating of funniest monster in the world. Good on him. Good on him. And good on him for finally making me like a humanoid monster, like for once in my life. Oh my gosh. Like for that you get 1,000,000 points. Oh. That's a little friend, pal! He gives me a feeling of a spider, even though he's clearly not a spider, he's just a neck. Like, he looks, if anything you'd say he looks more like a caterpillar or a centipede, but the face makes me think Spidey. I just like him, he's got very spidery hair, and I like his little face, like how wide his grin is, how big his fangs are, and a little beady eyes like Beady again. That's so sweet. And also he's just like, I don't know, he's just like an abstract design, and it's funny, it reminds me of the previous guy, but like, it's just a neck and nothing else. It's like if you just like extracted the neck from that previous guy and threw away all the human parts. I like this dude. He just reminds me that caterpillars are one of the cutest bugs in the world. I wish I had a really large caterpillar I could hug. That's another reason why I like Dr. Snap. He's very cute. He's a caterpillar centaur human man thingamajiggy blob. And that's the same vibe I'm getting from this guy, but less of a centaur and more of a just his head on it. His name is Henry Wyatt. Oh, he has a surname unlike everyone else. I'm assuming that means he's important to the plot. Encountered in the cave where he practices music. Oh, that's sweet. A strange brother of a playable character. His neck is much, much longer than shown in the image. Okay, is there a full image of how long this guy is? Is he just like a massive like hydra made of nothing but his own neck? That's actually kind of adorable. Even more adorable is like a tiny, tiny human legs at the very end of a neck. And it's just like a really, really long man just walking along on little feet. That'd be really cute. That makes me sad that he like, but like, again, that's another reason we need to establish Monster NHS. We could find, like, have, like, the Extra Lives charity for, like, they help make, the video game controllers for people who have different disabilities. Like, if it could be a version of how to make instruments for monsters who don't have any arms anymore, I want this guy to continue to be able to practicing his instruments. But it doesn't say what instruments he has, so maybe he had like a trumpet or something, and like they could like make a version of a trumpet where you could like somehow operate it without needing hands to press all the buttons on the side. Or maybe he could like move his hair like tendrils so he could use his hair to like press the buttons on the trumpet. I don't know. I don't really know how trumpets work. I just know that's a thing that you use your mouth for, so presumably that would be easier to use if you lost all of your legs. I like this guy. This guy is a noodle. This guy is a very different sort of cute to all the previous guys. The other guys are like beanbag cute. This guy is noodle cute. This guy is a total spaghetti. So I'll give this guy a huggability rating. I'm not sure. He could probably wrap around you for a really big hug. So yeah, I think I'll give you a high huggability rating even though you're not very squishy at all. I wouldn't say maybe 10, maybe I'll give you an 8 huggability rating. Because I'm not sure the mechanics of exactly how long you are or whether you would wrap around people like a snake to hug them. I hope you would because that would be very, very cute. But yeah. And his little tiny face is just really sweet. I'll give him a high on the cuteness rating in every possible way. Huggability rating is good. Friendability rating seems incredibly high. This guy just seems like a poor little pal who wants to play his instruments. And it makes me feel incredibly sad about how he says he's an estranged brother of a playable character. So does it mean the playable character doesn't know that he turned into a monster? Is it like, oh, I want to reconnect with my brother, help me get back to my brother, and then you find him and he's already a monster? That'd be so sad. I hope they still manage to reconnect even though he's a monster. Because that would be really wholesome, actually. Like, if he could, like move back in with his brother and, like, he could get help with playing his instruments and stuff, and he could, like, find a way to, like, get his whole life back together even though he looks a bit strange. Because, I mean, I've had no indication so far that the monsters, like, are evil in any way. They just seem to be people who look a bit scary. So, like, I want this guy to be able to, like, resume his life and have a long and happy musical career. Because, seriously, that's another thing that'd be in great demand in the apocalypse. Is people who can like, artists, performers in any way, people who can, like, bring joy to the life of people who are incredibly sad. I think if he went around with, like, a marching band, he would be very popular. Maybe he could have, like, a bunch of other people in this band, and he could, like, hug him in his long snake tail, and they could help him play his instruments or something like that. Like he could be like a one-man band, but also a 10-man band, because none of the other people in the band can play instruments. They just said to hold his instruments for him. That would be actually really funny and cute. I wish the best for this guy in his future. Herb. I'm not sure. I think I'll give him the lowest rating of all the Blobbly guys. He seems like a very like if anything, it's like is he like a beta of the other guys or something? Because he just seems like a Blobbly guy who's mostly human, whereas the others were Blobbly guys who had their own unique appealing features. This just seems like a guy who melted. Seems if anything like he's the opposite of what's it called? Like his what's it called? Georgie. Seems like Georgie is the guy who only his head mutated. This guy, everything but his head mutated. But I would still give him a high rating because I feel like he probably looked incredibly cute when he was a human. Because like his head and his little tiny hat, he looks like a pleasant uncle. He doesn't look like a pleasant uncle who would run a candy shop. He looks like a pleasant uncle who would run like a farm ranch or something, and he would teach you how to feed the baby goats. Oh, I really miss feeding the baby goats. I remember feeding the baby goats when I was a kid. That was one of my most cherished memories. They were so cute. Oh my gosh. I need to go visit a farm again someday. Farms are so pleasant. So yeah, I'll give this guy, Actually, I've forgotten to give anyone scariness ratings for a while. Well, that's because I haven't found anyone scary for a while. Beady was literally the scariest. Everyone else doesn't look scary at all. Like, I'm sure probably people in the audience will disagree with me, but all of these guys look like sympathetic, sad friends. This guy has like, if anything, like a negative scariness rating. This just looks like a poor, sad guy who needs a hug. And also would run a nice ranch of horses. Seriously, that's a good future he should have, as he continues to run his ranch of horses, even though he's a monster, and he continues to teach people how to ride the horses and feed the baby goats. That's good. But overall, I would say his design rating, overall it looks like he has like an all appealing design, because he has like accessories, he has a scarf and a hat, and he has like a unique face with like a Danny DeVito hairstyle, whatever it's called, and stuff like that. So it looks like even as a human he would have looked cool, but I have to like deduct points from the fact that his design is still he still looks like a human. Which is like, by definition, like in a monster rating you have to rate them less for being less monster, right? So yeah. I'll give this guy a high sympathetic rating though, because he looks like he's very, very, very small. and he wants to give me really big hugs. I feel like he looks like a pocket-shaped guy I could pick up in my hand. That would be very cute. This guy is probably the most plushable of everyone so far. Give him a cuddle. Give him several cuddles. I appreciate his little hat. I would buy him more little hats. But sadly, I do have to lower his rating because of how monstery he is. How unmonstery he is. So, I'll say overall design rating of like 5, like probably like almost the lowest we've had so far. Because like unlike Geordie, he's mostly human, but he doesn't have any real like interesting, funny ways that he's not human. If that makes any sense. Like he's not like the guy with the big head or the guy with the big neck. He's just a guy who's mostly human. But he does have an appealing design to him with his hat and his accessories. So yeah, 5 out of 10 for that. And then huggability rating, I'll give you an 8 out of 10. You're sort of an average design overall, dude. But considering that, like, the baseline average for this is, like, super, super, super mega cute, you're, like, you're still more cute than any real human being, sir. Oh, okay, we'll bring back the scariness rating for Jonathan. Oh my gosh. Seriously, that face is, like, the only sort of, like... I wouldn't say it startled me as much as BD did at first, but like, even though I don't think this looks scary, I can see how that would look scary to people at least, with that face of the red eyes and like sparkle, like sharp teeth and stuff. Like I know abstractly those are concepts that most people find not appealing, even though I do find them very appealing. I think this guy looks like a cute friend. He looks like one of those what's it called? Those mascots at car dealerships when they do a funky dance going. Ooh. This looks like one of those as a human being, and I like him. Also, I like how his design looks mostly human, but, like, he still looks clearly like a monster. Like, there isn't anything that's, like, wildly monsterized about him. He's just, like, stayed his human shape, and only his face has changed, and, like, his skin color and stuff. Oh, and I'm not sure if it's just a stylization of the art style, if he actually doesn't have hands anymore and they've just become noodles, because that would be really cute if they did. Also, I appreciate how he's wearing, like, some sort of medical gown of some sort. Was this guy in the hospital, like, being treated for his monsterism or something? Also, I just like his really big hair. It reminds me of that guy from the Game Grumps. So, yeah, overall, a big and huggable friend, this is. This is one of my favourite designs so far, again, despite him being mostly human. I think it's a very good way of doing a mostly human design. It makes Herb look even worse in retrospect. I'm sorry, Herb. But, like, this is a good way of doing a mostly human design. This is, like, mostly human done for scary, we've had mostly human done for comedy, and mostly human done for sympathy, and Herb is just mostly human done for nothing in particular. So that's why he kind of falls out compared to them. I would give this guy a scariness rating of... 5. You're medium scary. Like, I know you're supposed to be scary, and that's about it. Because you're not enough to spook me personally. But in friendability ratings and huggability ratings, you are going up in the 10s again. Like, seriously. This guy just looks like such a funky, friendly guy who would be such a happy time to hang with. He just looks like a fun dude. He looks like he's not very sad about being a monster. He is doing perfectly fine. This guy is the mental health champion of the wasteland. Maybe this guy is a psychiatrist for all the other monsters. That would be really pleasant. Found an island where he escaped and even killed some men who kept him as a slave. He dances for joy. Yay! Yay! Friendability rating going way up even more. Okay, friendability up to 10. Friendability up to 10. Was it already 10? Up to 11 then. Up to wherever it should be. Like, I'm glad he actually canonically has a sympathetic story and he's happy and peaceful. Like, I like that concept of, like, he was a boss monster for someone else who actually deserved it, but by the time you get to him, he's perfectly fine, and, like, he doesn't want to fight you anymore, he's just having a funky time. I like that. I'm glad. I'm glad you've escaped your captiveness. Good buddy time. Maybe he, like, takes over the island and turns into Therapy Island for monsters. That'd be a good future. I like imagining good futures for all these monsters. Pat. Okay. You look kind of like, what's it called, Bonzi Buddy? Like, don't know why, but this man's face just looks a lot like a monkey with how the mouth is, and how the nose is, and stuff. You probably have my least favourite design so far because you're just a guy with long arms and legs and, like, a monkey face. You seem like a bit more simple than everybody else is. It's a bit of a shame. Like, I don't have much to... Like, I wouldn't even say it's a bad design, to say it's a design I don't have much to say about because there isn't much to the design, honestly. Again, scariness rating non-existent. This guy is just a friend. This guy is just, like... If I could say that there was, like, a baseline example of these monsters, like, the base lowest level friend, this is the base lowest level friend. If it was a gacha for these guys as friends, he would be the common Paul. I'm so sorry to say about poor Peter. But yeah, even the description doesn't have much about him, he can just jump real good. I also don't have much to say about him, he can just jump real good. I'm sorry, Peter, like, you're just like Slender Man, but with a monkey head. Which, at least is better than regular Slender Man. Like, no offense, but Slender Man is one of the most overhyped monster designs ever. It's just a human man, but tall. Like, ooh! Are you scared of basketballers? Oh, what a friend, pal! Oh, what a friend, pal! What a pal friend! Punkert! I love him, he looks like a teapot with, like, flowers growing out the top. That's so sweet and cute. Oh, what a bizarre configuration for a human being to grow into, seriously. I wonder why the monster virus decided that, like, every single other limb of his should, like, deteriorate into slugness except just the right arm. Like, I suppose maybe in abstract sense that's how you could describe a slug, because don't they call the bottom of slug the slug foot? Like, technically they are just, like, one arm with a head on it, if it makes any sense. So yeah, maybe this guy is just supposed to be an abstract representation of what a human would be like if they became a slug. And also, I like his fuzzy punk hair. I wouldn't have realised that was punk hair. I thought it was actually just leaves growing on him. Actually, it'd be interesting if, like, he had punk hair as a human, and then his hair grew into leaves as a monster. That'd be neat. Because so far we haven't really seen any, like, elemental powers to any of these monsters. They'd just be, like, blob people. But yeah, this guy is just cool. He's just, like, it's an appealing design. I like that. I like the general silhouette of it as being, like, we'll take a human blob monster and make him look like something else. In this case, a watering can, sort of. Reminds me of the watering can my nana gave me. Where, like, it was really like it was really adorable actually. I went to see my nana and she said, "Oh, here's a video I have of you when you were a kid and you were watering the plants in the garden. I've still got the watering can we gave you." And she gave me a little tiny watering can I had as a kid, and I've been using it to water a little cactus I have. I haven't been very good at taking care of a cactus. I'm very bad at remembering when I'm supposed to water it, which is why nana gave me a cactus to start with, because like. It's a lot harder to kill a cactus. But yeah, that's what he reminds me of. He brings me good nostalgic nana memories. Excuse me, sorry a second. I need to get my drink. I blabber on way too much. So yeah, overall design, I would give you, honestly, close to a 10. Like, you're not the cutest thing in the world, but in terms of design, you're incredibly well designed. I would give you maybe a 9 out of 10. And, like, I especially like the face of, like, the little cool sunglasses that, like, somehow his cool sunglasses kept when the rest of him monsterfied. That's just adorable. I always like that appealing thing for monsters is, like, oh, he's a monster, but he still has one small accessory from his human form. I always felt like it was a wasted opportunity when Dr. Snap is to not still keep his cute little doctor glasses, like, perched on top of the head of his gigantic monster. Like, that would be the ultimate height of cute, in my opinion. It's just little tiny doctor glasses. This guy has little tiny glasses, but they're not cute, adorable doctor glasses. So that's slightly a point away, but slightly a point forward because he's got glasses in general. If you know what I mean. So basically, let's put it on a 10 out of 10, okay? 10 out of 10 for general designness. Huggability, I think you are also a very good shape for a hug. I mean, a watering can is a good shape for a hug. You know, like, you could hug a teapot. My nana has a tea cozy over a teapot, which is like it looks like a little knitted jumper, and it makes me want to hug a teapot, even though it's like it's boiling hot and it wouldn't be a wise decision to make. But yeah, that's what, again, he has the appeal of, he has a cuteness of Nana Times. That's your rating out of hug. Cuteness of Nana Times out of hug. And yeah, overall friendability, absolute friend. Like, yeah, you were gonna go up, you're not quite as much of like, an immediate, oh my god, awe reaction as the Doctor was, but you are overall just, like, an amazingly adorable friend. You are such a cute, you are such a love. I would give you 10 out of 10 in the categories, whereas Doctor had 11 out of 10. So, okay, you're one step slightly behind the Doctor character. But, like, if you were a Doctor, like, if this design and Doctor was somehow fused together, that would be the ultimate adorable monster, honestly. Also, if they gave it little tiny Doctor glasses. Because seriously, little tiny Doctor glasses, come on. Someone somewhere. Has anyone ever drawn a mad scientist monster which keeps little tiny Doctor glasses on top? That would be the height of adorbs. Do it. Oh, his human form is a bit more boring. So, like, I guess his hair is not actually leaves, it's just somehow his mohawk has, like, fallen apart into pieces. So I guess, like, his head is slightly, like, shifted around and, like, moved. I guess the shifting around of his skin has made his mohawk flop about a bit. Yeah. His human form is a bit more boring, honestly, but I do like in his human form he's got, like, what's it called? He's got he's got like grandpa wrinkles. Whereas in the monster form, he's still got the same lines, but it's not quite so easy to read as grandpa wrinkles. Like, I just thought there was, like, lines of him being blobbly, because there are lines of him being blobbly on the arm and everything. But knowing that they are grandpa wrinkles makes it more appealing, because, like, a grandpa punk is immediately more appealing than a regular punk. Like, seriously, I admire this grandpa for keeping up his punk attitude even in his sundown years. Like, seriously. Like, I admire all grandparents who are like, any form of, counterculture, because, like, it makes me feel like they were around in a time where counterculture stuff like that was like even more stigmatized, and they still went ahead and did it, and they were their true selves even in like a situation of like even being even more judged than people are nowadays. So yeah, I appreciate that, and I feel I'll rank you up exactly the same rank as Doctor now, because just from knowing that you were a nice grandpa who kept up his punkness in his old years. It makes me sad. I want to know what on earth is going on with him like missing someone named Jesse. Apparently, like, he has a hint of a plot line that didn't go anywhere, I guess. I dislike that in games where, like, there's something that gives you an intriguing plot line and it never gets followed up. I feel like in a game, if you're writing a game and you have, like, an idea for a plot and then you decide to throw it away, you should, like, make sure to erase the traces of it from the rest of the game. Like, when you're doing an editing once over, that's something you should notice is, like, oh, we forgot to actually put the conclusion to the Jesse plot in it. Let's remove the start of the Jesse plot. Which is a shame. Like, maybe, who knows, maybe it's like a super, super secret Easter egg that somewhere you'll eventually find out who the hell Jesse is. Or maybe he's just a fan of Pokemon. Like, that's a big mood. Like, in the post-apocalypse there are no TVs. Yeah, I like this guy, he's good. He is up on my, sorry, scratching my ear a little. He is up in my top golden list of now currently 2 members of the cutest monsters ever. What? What even? What? That's just a guy. That's just like a guy, but his monsterization amplified him into more of a guy. Like, everything about him has stayed roughly in the same human proportions except his arms have now become a motorcycle. Did his arms become a motorcycle, or is he just picking up a motorcycle? Because, like, his arms have all of the bloody splatters on the bottom like that. Is that just supposed to be, like, bloody splatters from, like, him using the motorcycle as a weapon, or is it, like, his arms are actually fused into his motorcycle? Because that's fucking wild. Like, this monster virus confused people with inanimate objects, I guess? That's cool. But other than that, I don't have much to say about him because it's not very monstery. He's just, like, a guy in a very dynamic action pose, and his arms have become a motorcycle, and not much else is particularly happening for him. Like, I'm assuming he's just, like, gotten a bit larger because there's, like, all stretch marks around his helmet and stuff, which looks like it's awkward for him to fit into this outfit. So, like, he got tall and his arms became a whole-ass bike. This man somehow won the lottery of good monster transformations. Like, seriously. I wonder if he can actually ride his own arms like a motorcycle now. Or if it's just... Wouldn't it be... Actually, it'd be really sad if, like, he was a motorcyclist and now he can't ride his motorcycle because it's become his arms. Like, maybe he could buy another motorcycle, he could ride that while also having his hand motorcycle. Like, that would be kind of funny to have a motorcycle that's being ridden by a guy that's being ridden by a motorcycle. But yeah, he's got an appealing colour scheme at least, I like that. But aside from that, I don't have much to judge on because I'm not much of a judger of human men. I'm more of a judger of blobbles. Oh, he is found in the motorcycle club after killing all his other motorcycle members. Oh, well that's bloody sad. And is this guy the only evil monster so far? Or is it just like he was very confused by becoming a monster and he ended up lashing out in terror or something? Or is it supposed to actually be that monsters like lose their sentience or memory or something like that? Because it seems a bit strange that he would suddenly kill all of his friends. Like, I don't know. Is it something like, I don't know, maybe he like had secret resentment for them or something? Or maybe they tried to steal his motorcycle, I don't know. And I was like, no one will ever steal it again because it's become my hands. Ah, he looked, yeah, so his monster form is literally just, he just got taller and he doesn't fit his shirt anymore. Okay. Leader of a group of marauding bikers, his hobbies include revving up the bike real good and kidnapping. So this guy is actually just generally a bit of an arsehole. Okay. Well, yeah, I think I'll give you the lowest rating so far because, like, I'm sorry, like, I like your appealing action pose, but you are just a guy who got taller and his shirt doesn't fit, and his hands are bike. His bike are hands. And also, for some inexplicable reason, he betrayed all his friends and became a monster, so... okay. So, like, I guess, like, maybe the monster is mutated more of his brain than his body, and he, like, personality changed somehow, or, I don't know. Maybe he just, like, wanted to, like, take over the motorcycle. No, it says he's already the leader of the motorcycle gang, so, I don't know. I'd have to hear more context about this guy's plot to figure out what on earth's going on with him, but, yeah, overall design, I'd give it a low rating in monsterability, but a high rating in general appealing designers. Like, it's got a good set of colours, the action pose is very cool. I would generally give him, like, a... If I was rating him on human beings, I would give him, like, I guess, like a 7. But rating him on monsterability, I would say he's, like... He's just about a see, I want to give him, like, a 1 out of monsterability, but I'll rate it up to a 2 because his unmonstrousness is generally, like... A good design at least. Even if again they haven't used like the lack of monsterism to be like appealing or funny or sympathetic or horror-y in any different way. It's just he's just a guy but tall and his shirt small and his motorcycle is his hands. Yeah. And he doesn't have any friendability, I'm sorry. Like, you have no friendability, you have negative friendability. Like, I would have said that your chumby body is, like, friendable and you have big hands for hugging, but then your hands are a motorcycle, so you can't really hug people. It would actually be really cute if you did, like, Ring a Rosies. Like, you had your hands like it because it's a motorcycle, and you go, like that. That would be actually very cute, and the idea of imagining you hugging your motorcycle gang members like that is slightly putting my ranking of you up again, but then I remember that you actually killed them all, so you're going right down in the toilet, man. Seriously. This guy's a jerk. He doesn't deserve to have cool, funky motorcycle arms. Yeah, overall rating, jerk out of bad. This is the least monster that has ever monstered in the entirety of Monster. I don't like him. I'm sorry. Like, I like the... Like, how could you possibly ruin the concept of a Super Sentai monster so badly? Like, seriously, like, you could have just... had a human man and had like some spikes poking out of his uniform or something, or had a concept like a uniform fused with his flesh or something, or just have eyes blinking out of a uniform head or something. Like, there are a whole million different ways, or like because that uniform has like it's more of a luchador mask with like a mouthpiece. Maybe I have something like a bug mandibles coming out of his mouthpiece or something. Or I don't know, or maybe just have the mask put on top of a very, very unhumanoid monster. Have, like, the small accessory factor like that. Whereas instead you've just got, like, this is the most human man in this entire list of human mans. He's just, like, he's got, like, a supermodel body now. Like, I mean, in reality, that's what all these superhero women would look like if like, it literally looks like a Rob Liefeld drawing of those women with their asses pointed really far out. That's just it. And also, again, he seems to be an arsehole because he killed all of his fellow superheroes. So, yeah, you were literally the lowest ranking on the entire list so far because you're just a man doing a funky pose. Like, honestly, if you just told me this was a regular human man with regular human organs doing a JoJo pose, I would believe you. Like, it's only by the context of everyone else that I know that this is supposed to actually literally be a guy who has his organs going all squish squish. Well, I do think, if you kind of ignore the face and the body and everything, and you look at his nipples, and his squidges, and it kind of looks like a face. And that could be the nose, and that could be the mouth. I would rate this guy 0 out of everything, but his weird nipple face gets at least a 1. Wow, he changed so much. My opinion sure has changed now. No. Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. This guy boring. Like, he didn't even get significantly taller even, he just got a little bit stretched out. Like, you're making Rex McStabbing my friend's man look better. And that's like the biggest sin of all life. Oh, it is sad about how he actually used to genuinely be a good superhero, and apparently told kids to be wary of bullies. So it makes me think, like, okay, maybe being a monster does sometimes mess up people's heads and make them forget who their friends are and stuff. So, like, maybe this guy was also not responsible for the fact he accidentally killed all his friends. Like, maybe it was just an accident, because he forgot who he was. Which makes it incredibly sad, and gives this guy a few more points of huggability, because that is incredibly sympathetic and sad to know that he's like if he came back to his own senses and realised that all his friends were dead at his own hands, then, oh my god, this guy would need so much therapy from the monster therapists. Like, seriously, where are the monster therapists in this world? How do I teleport in this world and re-establish the NHS? Like that would be my mission in the post-apocalypse. I would go around in like whatever these bizarre outfits are, but I'm just like my mission is to gather all the finest therapists of the world. I feel like the ultimate taxpayer is my job. Oh my gosh, that is the cutest smoosh. That is like the cutest smoosh ever. Why is he so hurting, poor guy? This guy looks like a relative of Charmy. Or just someone who had the same sort of mutation as Charmy, I guess. There was, I think, there's like a finite amount of different monsters you can turn into, and this is like another monster of the same like monster subspecies. But who hurt this poor friend? Oh my gosh. Okay, little is known about him except that he got attacked by some people. Oh no. He had every reason to fight back and be a boss fight then, if he let random people try just for looking scary. Poor guy, and he's keeping a positive face despite it all. I think I'll give you the same rating as Charmy, but like one slightly up because of the sympathetic circumstances that you're being found in. Poor guy. Like, at least it seems he's okay after being stabbed a few times. I'm glad the monsterishness makes you like invulnerable to knives, but someone help pull these poor knives out of this poor guy. Oh my gosh. And then maybe he can go and be adopted by the same grandpa who's looking after Charmy. And they could be a nice family. Maybe that grandpa will adopt all of the flesh tent people. So yeah, same rating as Charmy, but just one slight point up because I feel really, really sad for him. Poor guy. Like, how do I yoink this out? How do I save you? How do I re-establish the Monster NHS? Oh my gosh, his face, this pal. Oh, are you Bobo's friend then? So again, barely anything is known about this guy. I'm assuming he's just an enemy or something. But like, oh my god, that face. This is, again, a good idea of like having a mostly human monster, but also not. Like, this guy is like, he's at the same time, he's mostly human and he's not human at all. Like, he's had all of his humanity gone and been twisted into different shape, but that shape happens to be like a caricature of a human being. And I really like that. It's very appealing. He's very squishy. I like his face, which has got very wide-set eyes and a little grumpy mouth. He's neat. Oh wait, is that supposed to be like... I assumed that that was like eyes, nose, grumpy mouth. But if it's supposed to be eyes, mouth, then I actually dislike him because I think this design is supposed to be a sex-related design then. Because like, if the eyes are there and the mouth is there and that's all supposed to be the head, that's probably supposed to look like a ding-a-dong. I'm usually quite bloody blind to sexual, like, jokes like that. I'm sorry I didn't realise that immediately, guys. You were all probably laughing at me in the comments section right now. But yeah. Okay, this guy has rocketed down from, like, good design to bad design. Like, okay, we'll give this guy a preliminary rating. If this guy is supposed to not be a bad sex joke, then he's very huggable and nice. I want to give him a hug. He's just a nice noodle man. He looks like, again, he looks like those car dealership waving arm thingamajiggies. He could hang out with the other guy. And if this guy is supposed to be a very bad sex joke of his head being a dick, then he's, like, minus 1,000. I do not have any sense of humour for that stuff, sorry. I just find it gross as fuck. Like this poor monster, he's like... His whole life he's been mutated into a thing and he's suffering horribly, all for the sake of some guy making a bad ding-a-ling joke. Poor dude. We just establish a whole Monster NHS setting with people who have accidentally turned into a dong. What a sweetie pal! Oh my gosh! Is that a mask or is actually his head? Because I think that's a really, really, like... This guy is like... He's like the Rex Thunderstorm, but like a more appealing version of it. Like, his colour scheme is good, and he's like... This, it makes me think that, yeah, there must be like a limited amount of monster species that people can turn into there. This guy's like the same monster type, but like of a more appealing design to him. And I'm assuming with the hands being covered in blood but not attached to a motorcycle, and it means that the hands were not fused to the motorcycle. It's just that this species in particular likes to, like, stab people with its hands and lap out the blood, I suppose. And considering the blood is coming out of, like, all the eye holes, it makes me think, like, every single eye hole is a mouth. And that would be appealing and cool. Reminds me of the Kodama in Spirited Away. Those things scared me more than anything else in Spirited Away. No, not Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke. Those things scared me more than anything else. I actually found that the bull made of giant leeches to be super cute, because leeches are my favourite animal. But the Kodama with their faces, and then you couldn't tell which is the eyes and which is the mouth, and they spin around, that scared me more than anything. This guy gets a good rating of scare. This guy gets a good rating of scare and a good rating of appealing design. And like, the colour scheme is good. Like, purple and yellow go really well together for some reason. I have no idea why, they just do. And like with a little bit of hair poking out over the top, I'm assuming that's not a mask and that's actually his face. And his face just like evolved to look like a mask, and that's cool. So I'd say this guy has a good rating for huggability because he is just like shaped like a human man but with big arms. And like definitely a good rating of scareability. I'll say your scareability rating is 1 less than whatever I gave BD in the first thing. You're not quite as terrifying, but you are still a very good appealing design. And I'll give you extra points because like you're appealing design despite being very humanoid. I like that. This is good. Again, this is using mostly humanoidness to serve some sort of purpose. In this case, it's like he's mostly human but terrifying, and the mostly humanness empathizes his terrifyingness. I like that. That's good. This man has a purpose to his terrifying hand face. I mean, hand and face, not hand face. I'm thinking about Dr. Snap again. I'm sorry. I should put an image of him on the screen. He's like the best monster ever. Okay, he's found a village that's only home to pacifists, terrifying everyone to hide in their homes. That's a really cynical... This game has a lot of cynical and dark things, apparently. That's a cynical way of forcing everyone to be pacifists by, like, being a tyrant and, like, forcing them to stay in home. Like, I'm assuming that this guy is not actually the leader of it. I'm assuming that someone else is, like, using him in order to make everyone pacifists. Which makes me feel very sad for this poor dude. Like, who was this guy? Was this, like, guy like a second-in-command of Pacifist Village who was turned into a monster in order to, like, force everyone to be pacifists? By, like, a corrupt leader of some sort? That's very sad. Or was this guy a guy who genuinely wanted to, like, be a pacifist leader, but then his intentions have got corrupted because he's become a monster, he's forgotten what he was doing, and he's going around terrifying everyone to be a pacifist? I mean, more sympathetic, because someone who intentionally terrifies everyone to force them to not fight is just repulsive and awful. That's just like you're just literally being a tyrant. You're not being a pacifist, you're being a tyrant. Like, you're not believing in no violence. You're believing in violence is only deserved by the people who are not doing anything, in order to force them to continue not doing anything. Like, that's just a really cynical belief that, like, everyone will be violent unless I be violent to them first. Like, there are people who genuinely believe, like, and that's why, like, again, that's why they think, like, stuff like, in history, places like communist settlements, so they tend to, like, end up going bad if they end up being run by some prick who's, like, the only way to uphold equality and make everyone, like, be together for themselves. If I take all of the resources, like, I treat everyone like an absolute tyrant. It's like, the theory of pacifism and communism and stuff is not bad. It's just like when it gets taken over by a corrupt bastard who, like, literally does the opposite of what he's saying he's going to do, then, like, no. Like, people always say, oh, communism can never work, but, like, the problem is that that political leaders are corrupt, not that communism is bad. Like, we've seen democracy has corrupt leaders who have been arseholes in it and have like messed up with the rules and changed the rules, so like the whole democracy part of it is lessened than before. Like, we've seen that in America where that guy Trump, he literally lost a vote but like kept the vote because like certain territories are weighed higher in their votes and stuff like that. Like, literally the rules have been changed to be less democratic, and that's the reason why a democracy has a bad leader now, because the leader is bad and he made a democracy bad. And like, yeah, I think any possible political spectrum in existence could become bad if it has a corrupt leader. And like, yeah, we don't need to like have this thing we go, we have to stay with capitalism because communism is always bad. It's like, the point is the leaders, not that the capitalism is better. Like, capitalism has caused loads of horrible things too, and also had loads of horrible leaders. So yeah. But yeah, the political commentary is the scariest thing of all. I think I'll give this guy a point of... I'll give him whatever the same rating was BD for horror, because he has the added horror, the psychological horror of thinking about horrible political leaders. And his huggability is good because he is just a human man, but bigger and hugger with lovely arms. Maybe you should wash his hands first, but aside from that, very huggable. Friend rating, he has a lovely friendly face, and the rest of him contradicts it in every way. But that face, though. That face that's covered in blood, though. But still, it's a very cute face. I don't know. I'll give you a friend rating if it's that hypothetical scenario I thought, where it's like an actual good leader who became corrupted when he forgot who he was as a monster. But if you are just like a criticism of like bad political leaders, then your friendability just goes to 0, seriously. Oh, okay. You are very adorable even as a human. Seriously. Pat, pat, pat. I like this. This is one of the only times I've found that the human form looks equally as adorable as the monster form. So yeah, I guess it is supposed to be that he wears a mask, and then in his monster form, his mask becomes his real face or something. Because like the rest of him stretched and is bigger, but the mask seems to have also like grown bigger with him. So I guess yeah, and then all the blood coming out of the eyes. Either it means like his face is being squished inside the mask and his eyes are bleeding, or my conclusion, which is all his eyes have become mouths, which would be lots cuter, honestly. And okay, confirmed, he was a nice pacifist who's just become corrupted by monsterismness, which makes me sad. This guy has good intentions that were corrupted. That's like the most sympathetic sort of monster ever. Pat, 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 friend rating high. Good hugs. Pat. Bobby is the ultimate beanbag of all time. Like, this is just a beanbag. I would not have even believed that was a human man if not for the fact it was human coloured. Can I give like 1,000 out of 1 like huggability rating? This guy has 100. This is a maximum hug, maximum unscary, maximum friend. This is just a platonic ideal of what a blob monster should be. He's just got a little happy face and he's happy with his life and that's it. The only reason I give him a lower rating, I give him a lower overall rating because, like, we don't know anything about him, and also his design is very simple and doesn't really say anything that could help you communicate what his personality is or anything. He's just a simple and good friend. He's just like what you call like like in supermarket you have name brand and you have supermarket brand. He's like the supermarket brand beanbag friend, and everyone else is the more specific, more personality-full, different types of flavors of beanbag friend you can get. This guy is a vanilla beanbag friend. No, actually, like, Doctor would technically be vanilla because he's, like, vanilla coloured, I guess. But, like, vanilla is not a very appealing flavour, so maybe Doctor would be, like, I don't know, like, rum and raisin ice cream. See, now I want to try and assign an ice cream flavour to all of his monsters. But I don't actually know many ice cream flavours, so I probably wouldn't be very good at it. But yeah, this guy, friend. This is just, like, if you looked up friend in the dictionary, this is friend. I also like imagining, like, ... eyes, little mouth, happy face, or ... eyes, little nose, little mouth, happy face also, or ... eyes, that's all a nose, that's his mouth, really big happy face, even cuter. Every possible face on this man is adorable. Gotta love, gotta cherish. Pal. Oh my gosh, that design. Yikes. Okay, you get high up in the scary rating, whoa. Like, that, again, using entirely human man stuff for, like, scare value is just the fact that his face has been stretched so utterly attached to this, like, backpack. Like, that's a really sad idea. Is this guy a merchant, then? This guy was like a merchant who ended up being monsterized and fusing in with his backpack, which has become super long, and also his face. Like, his head just looks like a potato. But, like, seriously, the sort of, like, the squish aspect of this, where, like, his head has been stretched out and stuck to his thing, that's just gross. That's just super gross and terrifying. Even though his face is very cute and his body is very cute and his design is very cute, like, this is the most human man of all, but the fact that his face is just stretched, like, it makes it look like so unnatural. It doesn't look like this is a mutation happened to him. It makes it look like someone did this to him. Like, did someone force feed him the drug and then, like, hold him into weird positions to make him mutate into an extra painful form? This poor guy, seriously. How has he got so stuck to his backpack? Like, was there a magnet inside the backpack or something? Poor guy. Oh. Yeah, ooh. I'm gonna give you, like, I can't believe what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a 10 out of 10 scary rating despite the fact you have, like, so few monster traits. Just imagining what could have happened to this guy to make his head be stretched and flattened. Poor guy, like, oh my god, no, did he, like, when he turned into a monster, did he, like, fall over and his backpack fell over on him and crushed him? And then that's why his head has grown into a flat shape? That would be terrifyingly sad. Oh my god, that must have hurt so much, this poor guy. Oh my god. Like, can someone help him take the backpack off, or is the backpack fused to his head now? Oh my gosh. Poor dude. Where is the Monster NHS? We need Monster A&E for this poor guy. Oh my god, help him. He hides behind his large chest. Oh, it's not a backpack, it's a chest. That explains why it's long. I just assumed it was long because it was, like, fused to his head and it grew with him. Like, is there, like, more flesh growing underneath it or something? That would be incredibly sad. So that takes a few scary points away. So he's still, like, 27 out of 10 scariness rather than 28. Like, ooh. See, hides behind his large chest of drawers until you approach him and jump, scaring with the unexpected. Okay, scariness goes up to 50 out of 10. I am really bad at jump scares. Like, holy shit. Like, I am less scared by scary monsters, 100% scared by jump scares. I get terrified by anything in a jump scare, no matter what it is. Like, I've got situations where I've been terrified by a small, unexpected thing, which is just like someone knocking on my door or someone tapping on my shoulder. I have like a huge, like, amplified startle reflex because of bad events in my childhood. Let's just leave it at that. I don't want to go blabbering on about my past and what's supposed to be a cheerful video. But like, oh my gosh, this poor dude, oh my Christ, oh everyone's Christ, oh my Jesus, oh everyone's Jesus, oh several Jesus. You could fit several Jesus inside his head. This poor guy, and this guy would terrify the shit out of me. And I would be like, oh my god, this poor guy. After I jump a mile and scream and cry. Yeah, poor dude. Poor dude, poor me for having to look at this dude also. Oh no! He really was a kind merchant. That is so fucking depressing. Oh my god! Like, I can see now why this game is called a super depressing game. Like, he's the resident traveling merchant. Okay, this is a recurring NPC. A recurring NPC who's a kind merchant man. Who's just a kind merchant man. And then, like, at some point he eventually gets monsterized and, like, jump scares you because you go up to the goddamn shop and you get a jump scare. That would kill me. That would have absolutely destroyed me. I would have had, like, a fucking panic attack on screen if I got a jump scare in the place I least expected it like that. Oh my god. Poor dude, seriously. So, yeah. Literally his face has just been flattened and squished. Oh my god, the poor guy. Christ. Poor dude, like, can you give this guy 1,000 bazillion out of scariness points? And, like, oh, I would hug him still. I would hug him because of the sympathetic value of, like, his scariness comes from how sad he looks. Like, seriously. Like, he's scary because he looks like he's in incredible pain. This poor dude. Oh my god. He's a kind man who travels around and gives you discounts. And what does he get for all his kindness? He gets fucking destroyed and squished. Fucking destroyed and squished. This poor man. God, where's a happy ending? Where is the Monster NHS? Give this man fairies and get back to his job. And have a happy time. Like, can we run a GoFundMe for this man to, like, get his business back off the ground? And also get his head back off the treasure chest on his back. Oh god, poor dude. Okay. That's a blob. That's a blob. I'm just having trouble trying to figure out what it is. Like, is it supposed to be his legs at the end and all his body? Or is it supposed to be like a smiling mouth or something? I would assume not because that's his face, but then the expression on his face makes me wonder if this guy is supposed to be a pervert of some sort. Like, that's the face that they give perverts in anime, isn't it? Also, for some reason, Psyduck from Pokemon. But yeah, this guy is a nice blob. He combines Noodle and Blob. He's very appealing, I think. Like, his huggability rating would be the absolute maximum because he is both a big huggable blob and a big huggable noodle at the same time. You can have both. You can hug his blobby tummy and he can hug you with his big anaconda neck. But I will take a few points away from his friend ability by that face, which looks like he's either plotting something evil or he's a pervert of some sort. Because that's the face they tend to give him in anime. So I don't know. Again, I have autism, so I'm not very good at telling what faces are supposed to be. So I just tend to go by, like, the context clues of what they use. Like, so I just know that in animes that face is used as supposed to mean either a sneaky guy or a perverted guy. Sorry, Fanta. But yeah. So, yeah, okay. He's found blocking the way to a home of a former friend, or regularly stop what he's doing to snack. He's content. Oh, this guy is a normal friend then. Okay. You have an unexpectedly suspicious face for a man who is not suspicious at all. Okay. 100% friend, 100% hug. This guy gets a... What was the highest rating I gave for hugs so far? This guy gets the same as that. He's huggable like that. Like, I still think Doctor and the punk grandpa guy are the highest huggable now, but you're like 1 point below that, or you're at equal points. I'm not sure. You're an overall appealing design, but you don't have many unique features. You are just like a human man of no hair or arms or costume or anything. But you're a very blobbily shaped one, and I love it. Big hugs, grand hugs, largely hugs, no scariness, no nothing, 100% friend. Friend here, friend there, friend everywhere. La la la. Also, if it was his fancy legs, it looks like he could do a tap dance, and that would be very adorable. I would love to see his tap dance. I would support him. He could be a dancer and with a the musician, long head man. And also, I'm glad that he is content with his existence and has yummy snacks. All of these monsters deserve to have yummy snacks. Can this guy be the caterer on Monster Therapy Island? Seriously. Good pal, 100% good pal. Friend pal, okay. Okay. Our rankings so far, we have Doctor and Punk Grandpa currently equal standing, and then this guy one step underneath. That's a lot of information you've given me about him there. See, this guy I think is a better version of, what's his name, Herb? Because this guy is also just a human head on a big blob, but like the blob has been played for scariness. Because this blob here has loads and loads and loads of veins and hair on it and stuff. Like they just took the paint tool and they just went give him every texture in the world. It's the most over-rendered hairy blob in the universe. But his face looks so sympathetic on top. It looks so sad. And he's just got his little eyes. It's like, oh. Oh. This guy looks like he's making a face to all the others. He's like seen how cute the others are and he's going, oh. This guy would be the friend of Monster Therapy Club. He could be one of the monster therapists because he looks like he has a very approachable and kind manner. Even though he's not physically not very approachable because like you have to keep social distance from him because like his entire body is 5 times as wide as his head. But yeah. Overall, design doesn't particularly do anything for me. I'd say it gets a good rating of like 4 on the scary scale because you can tell it's supposed to be a bit more scary than the other blobs. Which also sadly makes his huggability rating go down because like hugging a very hairy blob would be kind of uncomfortable. A bit itchy, honestly. Like, it seems to, specifically because it seems to be beard hair, which is very scratchy. So, don't really have much to say about him aside from that. He just has a lot of similarities to the others. But then, like, falls a little bit shorter of them in other ways. Except he wins in the rank of scariability, but, like, it's hard to make a scary blob, it really is. So, like, he still isn't particularly scary, but he's scarier than the others, at least. But I feel like, by his attempt to try and be scary, he's become less than the others. Because, like, the others, like, embrace the fact that a blob is just naturally a cute thing. This guy he has a cute face still, but they try to make him a little bit frightening, and that doesn't really work because he is inherently unfrightening, if that makes any sense. Also, he looks like he would appreciate the music of the musician guy. Grandma! This one looks like a grandma! Oh my gosh, what a grandma! Oh, what an appealing grandma. It's got a little grandma mouth thingies and little eyes. It looks like the anime grandmas. For some reason, in anime, people tend to draw grandmas with their eyes always closed and then grandpas not with that. I don't know. It's like grandpas, like when you have an eyes closed grandpa, they have like their eyebrows covering their eyes and stuff. Instead, grandmas just have little lines for eyes. But yeah, this looks like a grandma. It looks like a good grandma. This is a blob grandma. I can't really figure out what's going on with the entirety of the body. It's just like you've been contorted into the shape of a lemon. That's cute in its own way, but I love you a lot. I love your hair colour. It's very appealing and nice and bounces well with the general colour scheme. I love your little grandma face. I love your little one hand is small and one hand is long, and you're doing a sassy pose. It looks like you're going like, indeed, indubitably. My deductions are correct. I am a hell man. But yeah, I love this Gran. But I'm assuming, like, again, they said, aren't all the characters in this game supposed to be dudes? So this is just a very grandma-looking dude. Okay, I'll give you extra points for that, for subverting the weird anime grandma trend and giving the weird anime grandma trend to a grandpa instead. That is good. I love. Formerly one of the top 3 most powerful warlords, now he looks like this. It's unknown how. His gang doesn't seem to have realised. Or maybe his gang just supports him in his new lemon shape. Maybe that's it. Maybe they just support their friend no matter what. Maybe they are the nice monster huggers of the world. They are the monster NHS. We finally found them. But yeah, I would give this a very, very high rating. I think you've rocked it up to be up there with Doctor and Punk Friend. Maybe you could be the friend of Punk Grandpa. You have Punk Grandpa and you have Hair Metal Grandpa. You two could be good pals. Sorry, give me a second. I need to blow my nose. Turn that off. I don't want anyone hearing too much from the microphone. tends to happen when I'm streaming. If I talk too much, I end up having to blow my nose because like I talk so much, like I get like saliva phlegm goes up my nostrils or something. I don't know how that works. Anyway, Dice Mahone is also a really cool name. That's a stylish name. I'm assuming you were some sort of fancy gambling person or something, or maybe your name really was just you were born called Dice. I didn't know if is Dice a real name that people can have, or is it a name that people take as a nickname? Because I support that. If you change your name to Dice, I support that. Cause that's a really cool name. But yeah, I would give you a rating of huggability. You are like you're up on maximum huggability. You're hug shaped and you have a really cute and appealing design. Like your design is really fun and appealing, and like sympathetically grandma-ish. That's a very grandma-ish face. Like seriously, you got like the little mouth here, and you got no nose, and you got a little thing. It's like, and again, it's so easy. Like in so many of these designs, there's so many different ways you can interpret them. Honestly, like here, I was thinking the first way I saw it is I thought, no, those are eyes, and like that's the red bit's a mouth, and then these are like grandma wrinkles around the side. But it also could be that these are eyes. This is a nose. He has a red stripe painted across his nose, and then that little dot is his mouth. Either way, his expression is very gentle and kind and lovely. And I love him, and he's a friend, and he's a pal. He's got grandma appeal, and grandma appeal's the best. Like, I hate when people say, like, grandma fashion as an insult. Grandma fashion's the best of all fashion. Cardigans are fucking cute. This man needs a cardigan. I will sew this man a cardigan. I will learn how to sew cardigans for this man. And sorry, sometimes I get so emphasized by cuteness. I just have to do that. So friendability rating high, huggability rating high, scareability rating no, everything, the overall design appeal is like super high on this. Like if anything, I would say this overall design appeal is like, judging from like a perspective of human design, his design is really good. Like this guy, I think he would still look cute even if you saw him in his regular human form, because like his hair is really cool, his face is adorable, and his general design is great. Like even if he didn't have a lovely squishy huggable body, he would still be cute. But also I think Doctor still does rate a little higher in huggability for like being a general monster shape and having not much humanness left. It seems like we've gone from like the least human monsters down to more human monsters as we go down. I mean, now we're going back to less human monsters again. I don't know, this isn't a particularly organised list. I like that because it means surprise around every corner. I like the surprise of this fellow. I'll put you up. Now we have a I think my revised listing, I think I will actually put Doctor at the top, and I'm sorry, everyone else has to be 1 point below Doctor, because the longer we scroll down, the more I end up remembering Doctor and want to scroll back up to Doctor. Doctor was so cute. But yeah, okay, we have Doctor, and then we have Punkert and Dice Mahone on their own, Punkert, Dice Mahone, and what was the name of Artie, this guy. Punkert, Dice Mahone and Artie on their own tier. No, Punkert and Dice Mahone on their own tier, okay. Doctor tier number 1, Punkert, Dice Mahone tier number 2, Artie tier number 3, and then everybody else. Oh my gosh, what a sweetheart! Oh! Their name is actually Sweetheart! What the fuck? Is this game reading my mind? Oh my gosh, I love that design, oh gosh. See, that's so cool, that's how to take a long-armed human and make it look actually cooler. Like, I love the design where, like, the whole of the face is covered up except just the mouth and the hair. That looks cool, it looks so aesthetic. I mean, like, it reminds me of, like, what's it called, Baba Yaga? Like, witches in general. Like, a witchy aesthetic is big floofy hair, like, covering their eyes and stuff. That's my favourite type of design for a witch character. This character gives me vibes of, like, Punch Witch. This is like the buffest witch in the universe. I love them. I'm assuming this is also a dude because I was told everyone in this is dudes for some reason. What is the reason behind everyone being dudes? Is that the same reason as the monster plague or something like that? Like, did all the women become monsters first or something? I don't know. But yeah, I really like the appeal because I like really noodly necks on monsters. I like caterpillars a lot, and anything that reminds me of a human caterpillar is automatically great. But I also like how this is like a human caterpillar and a witch, and also a vampire bat. Because have you ever seen a vampire bat? They are one of the only bats that can actually walk on their hands. They tuck their wings into their arms and they go like that. But they're very top heavy because obviously they're like, the entirety of their body is wings and their feet are very small. So it looks like this, with like that. I can imagine like this is like an in-between evolutionary stage for a monster that's going to turn into a giant bat of some sort. But like a bat with a snake head, which is amazing. I really want to see that now. I want to have a go at drawing like a even more evolved monsterized form of this, where it's like a bat with a snake head. Battle of Snakehead, best idea. That idea has been spawned into my brain. A battle of a snakehead and a little witch head on the end of a snakehead is like the best idea has been put into my entire head. Oh, I thought that was a monkey tail at the back, but it's actually just an arrow that stabbed into him. Who has been hurting these poor monsters, seriously? Like, I'm glad this monster has survived all the punishment it's gone through, but oh my gosh, poor thing. Like, why are they only hurting the cutest monsters? This one is literally called Sweetheart. How dare you hurt him? What a pal. I want to grab these images and do a sprite edit to take the weapons out of them and give him a warm sweater and like a cup of hot cocoa, and they'd be my friends. Okay, you've gone up. You and Doctor are on top tier, okay? You're on top tier. Like, I like how this one, it's like, again, it's like a very basic human design with not too many accessories, but like, the wildness of a body makes up for the fact you don't have too many accessories. I feel like the problem with some of the other ones were, it's like, they didn't have any accessories, they were just a generic bald guy not wearing a shirt or anything, and like, you couldn't have any idea of what they looked like as a human. There weren't really anything to make up of it in like accessories or hats or funny little vests in lovely purple colours, which I like a lot. Oh yeah, what's the name of him? That guy, the pacifist guy. He's also on 3rd tier. I'm not sure. He might be able to go up to 2nd tier. I'm not sure. I'll look back over this video and I'll make a comprehensive tier list at the end. Seriously. Like, oh wait, this is a girl. Okay, who is Dr. Yado? She is Dr. Yado's personal favourite mutant, and they seem to travel together. Like the strongest mutant and the only female mutant. Okay, neat. So, was it actually supposed to be that, like, the monster thingy was what caused all the women to die out? Like, did all the women turn into monsters before the men or something? I don't know. She's cute. I like her. I'm also glad we have at least one girl in this damn plot. Seriously. But who is Dr. Yado? Is there a doctor? Is that the doctor before? Does the Doctor and her work together as a tag team? Because that'd be cool. Like, the two cutest monsters work together. That's adorable. Is Sweetheart the name that the Doctor gave her then? Because that would imply that they were like dating or something. And that'd be really adorable to imagine, like, big squishy monsters having a happy marriage. This is why we need to re-establish the Monster NHS. Let them have help. Give them marriage rights for big chunguses. Gotta love it. Who's that eye? It's like a very suspicious guy. This reminds me of, what's his name? Wilson from Home Improvement? Oh, I forgot to give Sweetheart a rating. I'm just so overwhelmed by Sweetheart's cuteness, I can't even imagine a rating. Like, we've gone so far off the 10 scale now. Like, Sweetheart, like, you're genuinely good at being scary. You're genuinely good at being appealingly cute. You're genuinely good at being everything. You have big arms for hugging. You have a big neck for hugging. Just imagine the big like SSS star gacha thing appearing on the screen right now, and that is you. You are Dr. tier cuteness, and that is the rarest of all compliments. But this guy looks like a goddamn emoji for an emotion that doesn't exist. I don't know what to say about this one. Like, what is this supposed to be? Is that a mask on his head? Or is it not? Is that an eye? Or is it his teeth? And it could be buck teeth or something. And his eyes are underneath the mask? I'm not sure. I'm finding it really hard to parse the anatomy of this. This is like a non-Euclidean blob man. And I like him. I like him a bit. Yeah. I give you again like an average rating. You're just like an average cute mutant man. Not very scary. There are very few scary mutants on this list, seriously. But yeah. You've got a nice mask, you've got a nice blobness, you are very huggable. Again, you remind me of those little bouncing head Digimon, but you've got little hands, which probably is even cute, because it makes me imagine like you bounce along and your hands go wee, 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 like this. Wee, 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 wee. Yeah. He's good, he's appealing, he's genuinely appealing. I'll give him a ranking 1 above the average general mutant. You're like a very high quality supermarket brand mutant. You're like when the rare cases where a supermarket brand is actually better than a regular one. Like for some reason, Tesco brand hot chocolate is better than that fancy super expensive Galaxy brand hot chocolate. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I have weird taste. Because I can't eat actual chocolate. I can eat chocolate flavored things, but that's because they usually tend to be mild and like vaguely flavoured like chocolate. Sorry about that, I was just fiddling with the leads to my headphones were falling out a bit. But yeah, I hope my microphone is still going actually. But yeah, what was I going on? Yeah, I can't eat chocolate because it's too sweet for me. I get halfway through eating a chocolate bar and I feel really sick. Like, I like, if any, any taste that's too strong, it like affects me the same as if I'm eating like a really spicy curry or something. I have to like sit there, try and eat a bar of chocolate with a glass of milk to the side, going, get it away, wash my tongue out, it lingers. So, yeah, that's why I tend to like chocolate milk and hot chocolates and stuff like that, because like it's the vague taste of chocolate, but it's not super overwhelmingly rich and milky and gross. It's ironic, like actual chocolate milk is, if it tastes less rich and milky than chocolate. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but like, what's it called, creamy or whatever like that. Like that is just too much for me. It's just too rich in like every flavour. It's just gross, absolutely disgusting. Cannot stand Chocky. But I like Chocky Milky. So, yeah, this guy reminds me of the chocolate milkshake, the Chocky milkshake that is slightly better in the supermarket than buying the more expensive version. You are a high-quality averageman. Oh, a former member of a cult with an unhealthy level of appreciation of mutants. He became what he loved the most. Oh, that's good. That's nice and wholesome. Wait, if it says, like, that pause there, is that supposed to be they have sex with mutants instead rather than... I just assumed that meant he, like, thinks that monsters are cute. Alright, if he just thinks that monsters are cute and he was happy becoming a cute monster, then he rockets up my appreciation ranks. You go up there and you go on a Dr. Snap tier. You could be friends with Dr. Snap and the two of you can be happy being funky monsters together. But if it means he has sex with monsters where, like, previously it seems to be applied that monsters have trouble with their memories and stuff, and, like, seriously, that's just like having sex with someone who's, like, so drunk they can't consent. That's just gross. Dude, no. No. Ew. Ew. It's even more double ew, imagining, like, this guy's a member of a cult of people who all do that. So that means, like, after he became a monster, does that mean the rest of his cult members are going to rape him now? Like, oh my god, it's disgusting. I don't want to hear anything about the sexual violence-related things in this game, seriously. This is the reason I'm not going to play it, even though I really like the monster design, because I've told that there are sex-related violence things, and rape of children at a point in the backstory, and just... No, eggs and bacon, you're mistaken, I am just running out the door. But yeah, okay. You have a Schrodinger's cat of ratings. You could possibly be wholesome, you could possibly be a terrifying, weird monster date rapist man, and you could possibly be anything in between. Who knows? Oh my actual yikes. Okay, I can't seem to scroll up to only show one of these at a time, so here's both his forms in one. Oh my gosh. I cannot even pass what that is. Oh my Christ. Okay, you get the highest rating possible for scary. Like, oh my, I can't even tell, is that his face and that's a hat? Or is that his legs and that's his face? All I can tell is that's probably either a hand or a leg. And then, like, evidently his name is Buzzo because he got attacked by a buzzsaw at some point. This poor monster guy. Okay, so his nose is pink on his human form, so I'm assuming that's his nose and that's his... Oh, I can kind of see it's an upside down smile. Oh! So if we rotate this guy around in After Effects or something, we could kind of see that that's supposed to be a face. Like, eyes, and then he has a happy smile. Okay, that slightly mutes the terror for me at least, because at least it shows he's probably not in horrifying pain. Or he might be in horrifying pain, but his mouth has been permanently cut into a smile by the buzzsaw, which is terrifying in its own way. Oh my god. Either way, this poor dude, like, oh my god. Where is the monster NHS? This guy desperately needs an ambulance. This guy needs a very large ambulance for monsters. Oh wait, he's the main bad guy. Okay. I guess that makes sense at least why he's being completely fucking destroyed if he's the bad guy. And like, I guess like this is him after you have the first... It makes sense as a second form if he turned into a monster after like the first form of the battle. Like, it would make sense that his monster form would be covered in wounds because you just killed him once. Like, in retrospect, why do most, like, what do they call it, one-winged angel forms not, like, be covered in wounds? Because you just kicked their ass once. Like, this makes perfect sense. Like, this is a literal guy who was, like, on the verge of death and then monsterized and then came back to fight you again. So I'm assuming if he's the antagonist, his name is Buzzo because he himself uses a buzzsaw. And, like, ironically, he gets looking like he's got killed by a buzzsaw. So, like, do you, like, wrestle a buzzsaw off him in the fight and then, like, take your revenge against him and then he becomes a buzzsaw monster? I don't know. I'm wondering about the context of this. The context of this would change a lot about this. So, I would give him friend ability rating is 0, because, like, for one, you're the antagonist. For two, even though your design is very blobbery, it's also incredibly covered in terrifying wounds. Like, this is unnerving even to me, the appreciator of monsters. Like, wow. And, like, it's so unnervingly terrified that it's hard to even see where the face is until you look at it closer. So, huggability rating is like, I would have said that it would be high despite the fact that you are a terrifying wound monster because I feel sympathetic to you, but then I wouldn't hug you because you're in pain. So I would say sympathetic ability rating would have been high if I didn't know you were the antagonist, but maybe you are a sympathetic antagonist. If you are, then, like, yeah. But, like, sympathetically rating high, but it's more of a, oh my god, I want to get you to a hospital rather than I want to hug you. Like, I would hug you after your wounds have healed, sir. Seriously, you need help. Oh my Christ. But friend ability rating I think would actually be ironically quite high, because once you look at it, that upside down smiley face is actually kind of cute. Like, he's got a really big mouth and he's got a lovely little nose and his eyes are like, aww. He looks like he's smiling like he looked at a cute kitty or something. So yeah, I would give him... Knowing he's the antagonist, I'll give him a friend ability rating of 6? Like, he would have a very high friend ability rating if he wasn't a bad, awful dude. But even though he's a bad, awful dude, he still has a high friend ability rating because he has a lovely winning smile. So, overall rating, I would give you... I guess I would have to go for a medium because you're high in some categories and low in others. But, like, it wouldn't be a medium as in you are medium quality. It'd be a medium as in you are a high quality monster, but you're an asshole. And also, you really, really, really need medical help. Like, no matter how awful this guy is, I still want to rush him to a doctor right now. Oh my Christ. Bring out the blob doctor to treat this poor blob. Oh my god. This guy looks very similar to the last guy. Okay, this guy, you dude, you get higher rating than the last dude. You are literally just, like, the previous dude, but, like, not an arsehole, and also with a more coherent design. Like, you have the same face. Like, is this guy related to Buzzo then? Are they like brothers or something? Or is it again like there is a certain amount of species of monsters and this guy is part of the your face becomes incredibly cute species? Or is this guy a victim of Buzzo? Because again, he looks like he's been buzzsawed up. But maybe it's just like, maybe those are not supposed to be blood trails, they're supposed to be like veins or something, I don't know. Also, I'm not sure what this thing is here. Like, is that some sort of like poisonous stinger tail showing out from the side? Because that'd be cool. We haven't seen many monsters that have like non-humanoid traits. Every monster so far has been like a twisting of a humanoid. So I like that. It'd be cool if like some of them did have like scorpion tails of some sort. But yeah, this guy overall, very friend and good. Like, the excess amount of blood is not quite so good, but that's just because I get kind of squicked out by gore in particular. But, like, if you were to, like, wipe this guy off a little bit and take him to the doctors and he was just had scars instead of blood, then, like, yes, this guy is very cute and huggable. I like his little accessory of scorpion tail, and his happy face. This guy is like the ascended form of Buzzo. This is the better Buzzo. If this was a gacha game, this is the S-rank better Buzzo without being a terrible, awful person. Yeah. At least I'm assuming he's not terrible. Maybe I'm going to scroll down here and say this guy is a really even more big and bad antagonist. But, like... Pat. He's got the appeal of being a blob. He's got a long neck. He's got big arms for hugging. And he's got a lovely smiling face. This guy can go up in the tier next to Doctor and Sweetie. What was it? Sweetheart, Sweetie? I'm not sure. Actually, I think I'll put him down one tier because, like... I just really want to see him go to the hospital before I give him a hug. So he's got one slight less rating on huggability because of that. But, like, at least he has some unmarred flesh I could hug while he's recuperating in the hospital. I would bring him a big basket of lovely grapes, and I would give him a hug on his unmarred flesh. That is my rating out of 10. Oh, yikes. Okay, you have to scroll the page up to see this. Oh, God. Yeah, I think I've managed to scroll that on screen, but, like, that's apparently his human form. There is no info on who this guy is, but I feel really sorry for him. Apparently, like, I'm not sure, is that him holding a knife or is that a shoulder pad? But apparently this guy has been a victim of Buzzo then, because he got fucking destroyed before he even became a monster. I'm glad at least that becoming a monster has given him some comfort. Like, poor dude, seriously. It seems like, if anything, he's got less wounds when he's a monster. I guess it does confirm that, like, becoming a monster is, like, it slightly heals you, I guess. Like, his wounds have much less intensified. Oh my gosh. Poor dude. So, yeah, I have no idea who this is, because all I have in the description is that his name is Bernard, and then it's Bernie. I don't know what that means, and it's just a sad cry, so I'm assuming this is Will's favourite monster or something, or that something really sad happens with this monster in the plot. I want to give him a comforting hug. This guy, like, 10 out of 10 would visit in hospital. I would send him so many get well cards. I would fold little paper cranes for him. I would fold little paper monsters for him. I wonder if he likes chocolates. Maybe I could give him a box of chocolates. I know most people like chocolates. What would be the perfect gift to give this guy in the hospital? Seriously. That is what his design communicates to me. It's before him being scared or anything, this guy design communicates to me. I want to find a perfect gift to give this guy in the hospital. I hope he gets better soon. And I hope he has a happy and nice life, and like becoming a monster has improved his life and saved his life from whatever the Buzzsaw Man did to him, and yes. I'd hope all his friends and family come to visit him in the hospital and they have a big birthday party for his new second birthday of being a Blobman. Love. Lovely and friend. So, let's go back through and establish our rating thingies. Okay. Top tier rating, Doctor. Other top tier rating, Sweetheart. Those two together for all time. And if Dr. Yadu isn't supposed to be the same doctor, like, is Dr. Yadu the evil doctor who made the monster plague then? Because it says that she's his personal favourite mutant, so does that mean he's the guy who made the mutants then? So is he the evil doctor, and the doctor monster is a good doctor that he, like, killed off, who was like his rival in doctoring or something? Because that would make sense, and that's why I'd say Sweetheart and Doctor, they should become friends. She should find a new, nice doctor to hang out with. Yeah. Anyway, top rating is those two. Next tier rating we have, on tier 2, we have like SS tier, and here we have S tier. And here we have Bernie. And we have Dice Mahone. And we have Baby. And we have Punkert. Oh, yeah. I think Punkert, yeah, I'm going to have to rate. I think, should Punkert be up on the same tier as Doctor, or should Punkert be the tier below Doctor? He is wavering. Of all the other monsters, he's the one I most want to shove up into the Doctor and Sweetheart tier. Oop. And then on our third tier, we have Charmy. We have Beady. This is our A tier, by the way. Like, we have SS tier, we have S tier, we have A tier. This is our A tier. And then we have Hawk. He's definitely also on the A tier. Henry Wyatt is one of the ones that's on the end of the A tier. He could be going up to the S tier. Jonathan is also wavering on the edge of A tier and S tier. He's a very appealing and cutie design. Bobo is also on the A tier, wavering up to the S tier. Cooper, if he's not supposed to be a bad dick joke, he goes on the A tier. If he is supposed to be a bad dick joke, he goes on the F tier, which doesn't exist because there's no other monster on the F tier. He's the only bad monster, therefore. Bobby, I think also should go on maybe the B tier, because, like, he's a cute and appealing design, but he's also incredibly basic and doesn't have too much going for him. No, I think I'll put him on the A tier too. It would feel too cruel to put him on the B tier. Artie also A tier. Should you be A tier or B tier? Okay, I think we'll start the B tier with Buzzo. Louis also would either be on the B tier, or he would be on the even lower than F tier, depending on whether he is a sex criminal. Because, like, monsters, not scary. Sex criminals, really fucking scary. That is my priorities in life. You can also go on the B tier because you're an appealing design, but not particularly great design anyway. You're good, everyone else is great. Like, This is the B tier will be the great tier. Everything above it is like the excellent, super amazing tier, and like barely anything is on the bottom tier. You also, I'm not sure what to put Chester because his design is very human and also very scary. So I'm gonna put you down on the B tier for the sheer fact that you frighten me more than everyone else put together, because I just feel so sad for you. But also the fact I feel sad for you puts you up again, so you're not a low tier, but you're not a high tier. You're the good tier. You're the good man who needs goddamn medical help. Also in B tier we have Herb. Because he's good, but he's not particularly stand out in any way. I think, of all the monsters, him and Longlegs are the ones who stand out the least, I think. Georgie, you can also go here because, again, you are a very appealing way of doing a just one trait is different design, but you are just one trait is different. And going down, we have the only low tier ones. Rex Thunderstorm, you can be on the C tier. You are slightly less than good. I'm sorry. Also, you're a bit of an arsehole. And Blue is the D tier. You're the only one who's... No, you're the F tier. You're the only one who's on the F tier for being a boring design rather than being a potential sex criminal. You're just a dude who's kind of wiggly. And, like, being wiggly is good, but not when it's your only defining characteristic. Like, seriously, dude. Take some creativity classes. Like, I prefer... Can we take the mask off it? Does he have a more appealing design than the mask? I would love it if you take the mask off and there's actually monstrous stuff underneath it. He's just a human man. Like, in any list of monsters, my lowest tier will always be the just a human man monster. Alas. Alas and alack. There we go. Okay, so there are my overall rate. Let's go back up to Doctor and look at Doctor because we want to look at Doctor. Oh, you're also your D tier because you're just... There's nothing much about you. I'm sorry, Peter. Let's scroll back up to Doctor and enjoy his adorableness. Let's scroll up to Doctor and enjoy his adorableness. And... How do I make my screen bigger? Oh, I can't make my screen bigger. Oh, no. Oh well, let's look at Doctor and look at his adorableness, and on that we will end our tiers here. Thank you to my friend Will. His username is Big Cool Man on Twitter. He has sent me this list. He is a big huge fan of the Lisa game, and I do not know anything about it, but I hope that this was a mildly entertaining video to watch. Yay! And also I hope that you agree that Doctor is cute and precious. Also, I'm really excited to see your reactions. It's like, did I manage to interpret anyone incredibly badly and wrongly? That'd be fun. I could do like a follow-up video showing exactly how wrong I was at predicting everyone. That'd be fun. Anyway, we shall end our video here. Oh, we shall end our video here with a snappy hug.